Hey, Mom Betches. Welcome back to the Mom Betch podcast. We are so excited because today we have Brooke Cates. She is the founder, the beauty, the queen behind the Blue Method. Women need to empower women, and our voice matters. Bitch. Welcome to the Mom Betch podcast. This episode of the Mom Betch podcast is brought to you by BTRnation.com. Hey there, amazing mamas. Are you ready to spice up your snacking routine and add a dash of fun to your day? Get ready to rock your taste buds with BTR Nation. Imagine this. You are juggling a million mom tasks and suddenly hunger strikes. But fear not, because BTR Nation is here to save the day. If you go to BTRnation.com right now, you can actually take a snack quiz. It is the coolest way to discover snacks that will make your mama heart sing. Are you fruity, chocolate, nutty, or maybe you're a combination of all of them like me? All you do is answer a few questions and voila, your snack perfection awaits. From protein-packed bars to guilt-free truffle cups and energizing boosting bites, BTR Nation has got everything a mama could dream of. And guess what? BTR Nation snacks are crafted with clean, wholesome ingredients, ensuring you snack like a mom boss and feel fantastic while taking on the world. Plus, did you know BTR Nation recently earned a spot on Forbes' list of 7 food and beverage brands positively impacting our planet and health with low sugar, low carb, low sodium, high protein, high fiber. So what are you waiting for? Head over to BTRnation.com and enjoy, because we get 20% off and free shipping with code MOMBETCH. That's 20% off and free shipping with code MOMBETCH. Cami, I got to kick it over to you first, because you used the Blue Method all throughout your pregnancy, even postnatal. And she was like your holy grail for all things fitness, mental health, just like all of your self-care. Like, you have nothing but amazing things to say.
Yeah. So I love the Blue Method. I love Brooke, except for when she was making me do another rep. I yelled some not choice words at her because she kicks her ass, but in all the great ways. I pushed my baby out in 10 minutes. Everyone was like, I can't believe it. You're a first time mother. How did you do this? And Brooke taught me how to push. They have a little segment on their app, and it tells you how to do it the correct way. And so basically I gave all the glory to the Blue Method.
10 minutes. I was 2 hours of pushing. Brooke, how many hours did you push? I assume hours at least.
I was 4 hours. So I was on the longer side, but I got through that without any pelvic floor dysfunction, thanks to the Blue Method.
That's amazing.
You had no pelvic floor. Wow.
After that, and my son crowned for 2 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was gnarly. It was gnarly, but it was beautiful. And Cami, I'm just going to circle back and say that was all you. We just provide the tools. You show up, you do it, you decide to implement it. That was all you. But I'm so happy to be here with you guys. Thank you so much. It's an honor to connect and be able to have these conversations that are just raw and real. And thank you for, thinking that I have some things to say that your listeners want to hear.
I feel like all women, we all have one thing in common. We need to feel empowered when it comes to health, fitness, mentality, and you've really been the trailblazer. And not only are you a founder of a very successful business, but you have to tick a certain way in order to get there. We really want to just learn about you. Who is Brooke? What do you, give us all the deets.
Well, that's a loaded question, first of all, but I'm going to start this way. I actually refer to myself as an accidental entrepreneur all the time. I did not intend for, and maybe I did, there was this ability to really call in the bigness that the Blue Method ended up becoming. But I just saw a need. I saw a gap in the system of all systems, which is, our medical system, and then kind of merging in the birthing system around a lack of empowerment when it came to pregnancy, birth, and the postpartum phase. And I remember just seeing how disconnected that was and how fear-based it was. And I remember thinking in my late 20s when this kind of landed for me, this is not, I don't want to have kids if this is what it's going to be like, if this is the way I'm going to feel as I step over this threshold into motherhood. And you know, when I first started getting these, I call them downloads, but when I first started getting these downloads about these gaps in the movement world when it came to pre and postnatal, in how to empower women in their bodies as they step into motherhood, at first I was a little taken aback by it because I was like 28, 29 years old and I was living out in Boulder, Colorado, and I was very far from wanting children at the time. But instead of kind of like finding that path and being like, oh, I'm not going to be a mom anytime soon, I instead leaned into that. And I think that ability to lean into something that almost felt like it just dropped into me out of nowhere was the catalyst to unleashing this really incredible passion that I didn't know at the time would unravel me and allow me to kind of stand in my truth in a way that I've been able to over the past, 13, 14 years and help so many women. It's been incredible. Yeah.
It's just, it takes someone to have the passion to help others, to be able to provide the resources that you provide. And it's limitless. Like, you do so much for women to empower them. Like, what's been the most exciting thing you've seen over the past few years with the Bloom Method? As far as like empowering women, client testimonials, things like that.
Yeah. I would say the connections, the sharing of women all over the world who will give their version from their lens, why the Bloom Method was so critical to them and how that shows up so differently depending on the individual, what her goals were, why she chose to move during her pregnancy, why she chose Studio Bloom, what was important to her. It's everything from as simple as I felt stronger than I've ever felt before, all the way through I've never felt more empowered in my birth than I felt. And prior to Studio Bloom and the ways that you guys teach things and the way that you talk about things, I was terrified of birth and I was able to completely release that. So it can go like, really like fitnessy all the way to this more like esoteric, what I call is like the foundational depth of what the Bloom Method is, because we are, in this movement and fitness building, I guess you would say. And that's what, for most people, they look at the Bloom Method and they think, oh, it's a fitness app. It's just another fitness app. And then I really think that the majority of women feel the essence of what not just myself, but my entire team and my coaches want to really do. And our method is just fitness. Like, our modality is fitness and movement and utilizing the body, but it all comes back to empowerment and really trying to get women to harness this inner intuition and then just move forward with that. Because I think that can be like a huge missing piece for so many women and so many mothers, right? Is that ability to securely listen to their intuition and not worry what anyone else thinks, because they're making decisions for themselves and their family, their children, based on their intuition. And that inner compass is like the most profound gift we have as women.
Love that.
I have a question. So, and we talked about this previous to recording, but, I think we all collectively wish women were not judged as much as they are. And it sounds like not just Bloom Method, not just you, but like your driver is so that women have their own unique experience where they trust themselves, they feel empowered by themselves, and they believe in themselves, and they have the confidence in themselves to choose what's right for them. How do you instill this through your application? Because I feel like that's really what empowers women to take action, is like knowing that this is built for me, but it's going to charge me, right? Like, no one else is in the room. It's me against the world. I got this.
That is such a great question. Here's the thing. That is something that I think we tackle all the time. I tackle all the time with women, because what you're really having to do is help women be self-assured in a season that they are not. That is the last thing they are, especially a first-time mom. But even moms with subsequent pregnancies, if their pregnancy is moving in a different way than maybe their prior pregnancies, women tend to lose this self-assurance. And so when you ask that question, I immediately think about all the women who come onto the app, and because we have over 1,000 classes and multiple ways to move your body, from bar and HIIT to strength and boxing, all this stuff. And my whole idea is I want to give women the options. Women, pregnant and postpartum women, deserve to celebrate their body and move it however they want. So options, right? And then women come into the app and they're like, so what programs would be best for me? And I'm like, well, we have a lot of questions for you. How do you want to move? So we have one-on-one support that we give to all of our members, complimentary. It's included in your membership. It can be used to like go really deep level of like one-on-one support for like fixing issues that have happened in the body. Or people also will reach out and ask these questions. And it's tricky to me because I always want to help them and I always want to guide them. But I also for years have felt that there have been different aspects of the Bloom method where I feel like there's this essence of reinventing the wheel. And coming back to your question is that I almost feel like we're constantly having to reinvent the wheel to encourage women to trust that you cannot pick, for example, a wrong class or a wrong program. You're not going to hurt yourself. As long as you're pregnant and you're picking prenatal classes, prenatal programs, you're good. But I think that this idea of pre and postnatal women having tons of options in exercise, it's still so new. Even though I've been doing this for 14 years, it's still so new that we have all of these belief systems that we have to break through before being able to finally say, oh, I'm just going to join this app and I'm not going to ask for any guidance. I'm just going to do it and trust. So it's a tricky thing because I want them to have the know-how to just trust their body and go for it. And then I also have to remember that I created this method and I do this work because the system is so broken and because all of the information is actually creating so much misinformation and so much overwhelm in the majority of pre and postnatal women that of course they have questions. Of course they need guidance. So it's like a double-edged sword to me sometimes, Yeah.
I mean, you summed it up beautifully. If I was listening and I'd be like, okay, like I get this, right? Like I feel more empowered to know that I can trust my body. Cause you're right. Like when I got pregnant, just me personally, like I was scared to do anything. I was scared to bounce. I was scared to move. Like it took me 3 years to get pregnant. And I don't want to say I lived in fear because I was very zen. I was very happy, but I did. Like I was like, okay, this happened to me. Like, don't move.
Where is it coming from?
Right. Like, yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, where are you getting this?
Where is it, like a societal rumor?
Yeah. It's probably up to interpretation to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Because we all have opinions and in the way that we understand and take in information. But yeah, I almost think that we live in a world that it's almost like something somewhere is trying to make us forget how incredible we are as humans. So we think, we're fed these narratives, right? Of like, infertility is on the rise. And when you struggle to get pregnant, it's probably because your body's there's something wrong, right? Like we don't know what it is, but it's wrong. So we can help you get pregnant. And then of course you get pregnant and you're like, I'm terrified to do anything. I'm just so grateful that I'm pregnant. And I want to make sure that myself is safe and I keep my baby safe. And then when you get into the movement sphere, you hear everything from every single pregnant woman gets diastasis recti. So get ready. Like, I hope you're ready to just love your body no matter what it looks like, even if it doesn't feel like yourself there is, your pelvic floor is going to fall out. Like there is just so much fear embedded in a lot of the narratives that we are fed as women. I can always go as deep as anyone wants. But if you think about like Cami, you said, like, what is this? Like, where does this come from? I think there's this energy that we've been probably battling for eons as women, right? It's almost like there's this new energy around feminism and trying to keep women down. Like, sure, women can be CEOs, women can, have empires and still be incredible mothers and do all of the things, right? But we're going to find ways to help them forget how incredible they are. I mean, I'm like a true feminist at heart, in the sense that I truly believe that women are the essence of life. And I think that we hold a power, and so much of that is intertwined in motherhood and the ability to give birth, no matter how you give birth, cesarean, vaginal, like whatever it looked like for you, it's an ancient experience and something that is beyond anything that we can truly comprehend. Like, if you really think about the breakdown of what it takes to get pregnant, whether you get pregnant quick and fast and easy, or there is a little bit of struggle and you need a little bit of work, it's miraculous that we even get pregnant. And then that we build and create simultaneously with the help of what is it really that helps us create this child, this human inside of us? I mean, the whole thing is mind blowing. And I think a lot of it is, how do we break down all of these narratives? Maybe even instead of trying to figure out like why or where they come from, it's almost just like, no more. Like, I call bullshit, and I'm not doing this anymore. And that was really this big piece of energy around starting the Bloom method. So I think it can kind of like weave into all of this.
How has it changed your life? I think a lot of times, like, people listening, and even myself, like, you feel like you kind of get there, but you got to just release. And I feel like you've somewhat released, and that's why you were able to create this beautiful business. But like, what does it feel like when you finally are vulnerable and you just believe in yourself?
Oh man, I think but like, if we could all do that, I think it would heal the world. Like, that sounds so cliche, but I think that I was actually listening to a podcast the other day, and he said something similar, and I was like, yes. And it was like, the best thing that we can do, the best way that we can show up for ourselves, for those around us, our community, future generations, is to celebrate being human and to be the best version of ourselves, to live our life out loud, right? Stop being fearful of anything. Like, you think about that and you take some steps back. And I even think, like, why do we make the decisions we make? Are we making them because they fill us with joy and they spread joy? Or do we make them because we're terrified that one day we're going to, be 67 years old and we're not going to have money in the bank? Or is what you're doing based on fear, or is it based on love and joy? And so for me, I think that you asked me how the Bloom method has changed my life. I think that was your question, right? Like, how this work has changed my life. I mean, it's so palpable for me that it just comes back to connection. It really is, like, as simple as that is, it's really all about connection. And this is just the modality that I'm showing up in, is the movement and fitness. I think it's as crucial as the food we eat, right? And the way we do things at the Bloom method and the way that we try to get women to be in their bodies is very different than your typical mainstream group fitness class. But it comes back to the connection and the ability to, connect with these women when I get the opportunity. It is rare, but these women that reach out and just give so much thanks. We've had women tell us that they couldn't have gotten through the loss of their child without movement. And the way that, to think that I would ever, like, my movement practice around pre and postnatal fitness would actually guide a woman who gave birth to a full-term child who didn't make it. Like, it's just, it's like life-giving. It's like this beautiful cycle of life-giving energy. I give and then they give back. And look, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, right? There are a ton of assholes out in the world too, but for the most part, it's just really beautiful. And to be able to empower women and have that given to you as like, your work is good, even if it only changes 50 people's lives. Like, I mean, what a blessing, you know?
So how did becoming a mother, did it fuel your feminism more? Did it change how you were an entrepreneur? Did it change the Bloom method? How did it affect you?
Yes to all of that. You know, when I think about my feminism, I'm careful to use that word because a lot of people associate that word in different ways, right? I think when I had my child, first of all, I gave birth later in life. I did not have my little boy until I was 38, which living in Colorado at the time was totally the norm. But now that I'm living in Tennessee, it is not the norm. So, but it's like it unleashed or awakened this primal mother in me. So when I think about what you're saying, it's like, I will go to bat for anything I believe in that will better the world for my child, that will give my child everything that I think he needs as his mother. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that I had that or understood that before, the way that once I had crossed over that threshold, I really understood. And for me, it's like this intuition. I've always been a very strong, like stubborn, determined individual, but motherhood made that even stronger, I think. Mm-hmm. And then as far as an entrepreneur, I mean, I just want to be with my child. I want to be with my husband. And I think that's really hard for a lot of women in today's world, right? Because on one end, it's, we need to mother our children as best we can, right? Do it for your children, do it for future generations, do it for your own childhood trauma, do it for all the reasons. And simultaneously, there are all these expectations. If you want to be a successful woman who is really like shining in your truth and doing what you need to be doing in this world, well, then go out there and do it. And so I think mothers have more of a load than we've probably ever had.
100%.
Because of all the ways we want to show up. Mm-hmm. So, you know, with the Bloom method, I am so blessed that I listened to all of the voices out there, all of the moms in the world, because each phase of the Bloom method and how we've evolved from one-on-one training to a brick and mortar studio in Boulder, and then eventually in 2018 to the app, has been because the women wanted it so bad. Women all over would email and reach out on social media and say, please make this available for all of us. And I'm so grateful for that, because I don't know that I would have done it if I wouldn't have had that push from women who really needed it. And because I did it, I have so much freedom to be able to give my child this ever-present mother that I didn't have, that most of us didn't have, I think, if we had working moms. And I think that in that, I have learned how to also share with other women, even when you're like, I have to work a 9 to 5, Brooke, I don't have that option. So tell me how I can show up for my children more and do that. I think it's allowed me to get more creative with that, to help other women, because I also don't ever want to be someone who's just like, well, this is my life. I'm so blessed. Like, you guys figure out the dumpster
go
fire.
Work. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think that's another thing, is like, when we love aspects of our lives, how can we share that with other women? It's just another thread of empowerment. How can you help other women find more time with their children if they're struggling with that? Some women might say, I want less time with my children. Well, I don't know how to help you with that. Go do something. But that's not typically the thread. It's, you know, how often do we see the mom-based social media things where it's like, you only have, I don't even know what the exacts are. I don't attach to it, but it's like 12 years with your child. It's like, how do we soak that up? Because time moves so fast. So yeah, I think a variety of things in my life have allowed me to do my best. I fail all the time at being more present at shifting my lifestyle and really sitting with how I want to show up, for other people, and how I want to like live boldly in the world.
Yeah. Like how you want to encourage other people to show up for themselves too. You know, like a lot of times I feel like we're in this box, right? Like we get stuck in, you know, the same patterns. We do the same things every single day, inside and out, and we're not flexible. We're not as flexible as we need to be to give back to ourselves. So I feel like you even recognizing that the input from women everywhere helped change, right? And move the method to appease to so many different women, you know, wherever they're at in their life, so that they can take just pieces of everything that you have in the foundation of your business and apply it to their own life is incredible. I want to change the subject now to support, because women need more support, right? And it seems like you have hands down provided support outside of just prenatal, postnatal. Like you go as far as support for miscarriage, for child loss. Can you explain a little bit about that piece of the Bloom method and about the empathetic side and the empathy side that we need to do as women to support each other?
Yeah. For me, it comes back to every woman who is willing to trust the Bloom method, whether they need grief support, whether they're struggling because they've never exercised and now all of a sudden they're pregnant and they understand the impact of their current lifestyle and they want to shift it, or they're the fittest person in the world and, you know, they want advice. However they come to me, my main goal is to make them feel seen and heard, period. Yeah. And I will always do my best to show up 10 times more than they thought I was going to offer them whatever level of support they need. And, you know, when it comes to, like you mentioned, the grief piece, the grief piece is real. I mean, it's not just an infant lost or child loss. Like we as a society struggle with grief. We have been taught to numb ourselves. Don't be emotional in front of other people. Like how many times, if you have yourself have not said this, how many times have you heard other women say, you know, in a conversation, maybe someone gets emotional and then they immediately start apologizing for being emotional. It's like, whoa. No, why are we apologizing for emotions? Like let that energy get out of your body, free yourself from it. And so, you know, infant loss, child loss is one of those things that as a pre and postnatal fitness method, it is a reality. Miscarriage is real. You know, late term loss is real. There are a slew of reasons why parents and women specifically go through this. And I am one of tens of millions of people who have experienced a miscarriage. And it was my first pregnancy. And I'll briefly just say that the universe works in mysterious ways always. And it's always so divine, I think, when we're willing to take a step back. But when I had my first pregnancy, it was very easy. I got pregnant. You know, my husband was bummed that we couldn't try more. It was like one of those situations, you know, and everything was fine. I was scheduled to have a home birth and was not having a lot of ultrasounds, and announced my pregnancy. You know, I did like, you know, the quote unquote safe, let's wait till 12 to 13 weeks. And then you can announce, which I tell women, let's cancel that and announce and express our joy. And if something happens, you have more people to surround you in your grief. But I announced my pregnancy, and to the Bloom method, to all of our family, everything. And that exact night I went into labor and miscarried our baby. And it was devastating. I remember my first reaction, you guys, was, oh my gosh, I have to go take the social media post down. It was, and look at that. Like that's trauma. That is, and that's like almost like guilt or something. It's like the shame of, oh, I told people and now I'm not anymore. I have to remove it. And then within the first few days, as I was moving through that healing, I was like, no, this happened for a reason. I have a voice. I have a platform where a lot of women who are also simultaneously wanting to get pregnant or postpartum are looking at me. now's the time. Like, how am I going to respond to this? And so I chose to talk about it. And in talking about it, I found so much healing. So much healing. And I remember thinking, okay, there's something to this. We've got to start just allowing women the space to grieve and talk about their losses as much or as little as they need to. There are no boundaries with that. There should not be. And so that kind of pushed me I got pregnant about 3.5 months later with Levin. And then that is when about a year later, we reached out and I said, we have to have a grief program. Our grief program is not even included it is included in the subscription. I shouldn't say it that way, but it is also completely free because it is something that I really believe in. It's not attached to movement and fitness, right? So it seems a little out of box of what we do, but I think it goes back to what you were originally saying around support. And that just takes me to the essence of what the Bloom method is. Yeah, this isn't about like, I'm just obsessed with fitness and I just saw like, so much money being able to be made. No, it's so much deeper than that. And I would even say that I'm not even obsessed with fitness. I actually think that a more well-rounded, relationship with movement and fitness is much more healthier than working out 7 days a week for an hour a day.
I would argue that you look badass. Like you could kick my ass.
You are very sweet to say that. But no, I work out like 4 days a week. I never work out more than 35 minutes a day. Yeah, I try to have I live my whole life on an 80-20 lifestyle. And recently, I definitely got caught up in the like non-toxic, like super controlling everything that I would eat. My family couldn't touch anything that wasn't organic. I couldn't tell you guys the last time I drank water at a restaurant because I didn't know where it came from. And now I'm full on 80-20. And like, I really believe in that so much that I told a girlfriend yesterday, I've told a couple of girlfriends this the past few weeks, that I think I'm so embedded in the 80-20 being like the essence of true health that I really think we should kick up the 20%, not increase it, but really make sure that you're getting a lot of toxicity out of that 20%, like just make sure that the 80% is really healthy and then just bring in all the toxicity for the 20%. And that toxicity should be like toxicity that makes you happy, right? Maybe you want the Botox, girl, go get the Botox. Like, let that be part of your 20%. Does it make you shine brighter? Get it,
I definitely follow that 80-20 rule because Botox, and for me, it's a sugar-free vanilla latte from Starbucks.
Get it?
I'm trying to find an organic latte. Like any day of the week, if someone can replicate that in an organic, healthier way, but I can't. I'm addicted. But I get it. Like, I feel like we're so hard on ourselves. We really need to be more understanding and kind. But you're right. We do need to hold ourselves to standards, though. Like 80-20 is a great, I think, balanced way to live. And that's probably a takeaway for a lot of people if you're not already, applying that.
Yeah. That's a huge milestone for people because it's probably most Americans, it's probably 2080.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I was like 95.5 before that, but like, over obsessing over the health stuff. And I think it was, causing my own dis-ease in my body. So yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Make Mementos, the perfect way to keep your loved ones close no matter where life takes you. If you're like me, you are constantly juggling work, school runs, trying to keep up with family across the country, sometimes even miles away. Well, I've got something incredible to share with you today. It's called Make Mementos, and it's about to revolutionize the way you connect with your loved ones. Picture this, grandma, grandpa, they're living their best life in Florida. Wouldn't it be amazing for them to send your little one something that truly makes them feel close? Make Mementos lets you record personalized ebooks and e-cards using your own voice and send them instantly to anyone, anywhere. And it's not just for grandparents. Whether you're a military parent stationed overseas or just want to share a special moment with your best friend's new baby, or even record your child reading their first book to save that memory forever, Make Mementos is the perfect way to make every occasion memorable. And here is the best part. There's no shipping involved. No complicated video chats to schedule. Just record your message, hit send, and let Make Memento work its magic. And for the entire month of May, Make Mementos has given us 15% off a recordable ebook or e-card with the code MOMLOVE24. That's MOMLOVE24 for 15% off a recordable ebook or e-card, and expires on May 31st at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Head over to MakeMementos.com today and start spreading love and joy with the power of your voice. Make every moment count with Make Mementos.
I mean, you're kind of leading us to our next topic. You know, you said, you know, you're over obsessing about the health stuff, but that takes a toll on you mentally. And I feel like, you know, one of the reasons why we made the podcast is so that women just mentally have a place to escape, to listen, to feel like you're talking to your girlfriend, to get empowered, to have more resources. Mm-hmm. What do you got for us as far as like just your mental health?
Ooh, mental health. I mean, mental health's a tricky one, especially in the information age, right? Because we're constantly, I said this earlier, we're bombarded with information. We don't know what to believe. We don't know what's real, what's fake. You know, people think they can turn to the news and they're getting all the information. But what we don't realize is that our news is as filtered as any other it's crazy amount of news in another country that you want to say, well, at least we're in America. No, there is so much propaganda out there and a desire to get us to believe whoever they are, want us to believe. So I think my number one rule is that you protect yourself from the information you take in. I've been doing that a lot. Like I tell people, clean up your social media following in the sense of go through all the people that you follow and start removing them. I know they're like the sweater you've worn one time, but you can't give away, right? You're like, what if they say something and I want to hear it? You're not going to miss it. If I'm at a point where if I'm scrolling, and I'm trying to do less of that, but if I'm scrolling and I see a video or a post from someone that I choose to follow that doesn't make me feel good, I unfollow them. Because why? Like we have so many opportunities throughout our day to feel like shit. We just do. Right. To be hard on ourselves, to not feel like enough, to not feel like we don't make enough money. We're not pretty enough. We're not tall enough. We're not skinny enough. I'm not a good enough mother. I yelled at my kid too many times today. All of the things put blinders on. And then when we become more present in our own lives, we realize how actually badass we are. And all the things that we do. And then I think from a mental health perspective, it's like glass half full versus glass half empty. And if you're just scrolling on the internet, seeing all of these like fake examples of what life is, let's be
so
real.
Fake and filters. And motherhood.
All of it. Even the well-intended, I don't want to bash anyone, but even the well-intended, it happens to the best of us. There is an essence of falsity in all of it. And it just places unnecessary pressure on other mothers. And then it, of course, adds to that mental health load. I'm also a big non-negotiable on self-care. I know that's a tough one because there's this whole camp of people that are like, stop telling moms to get self-care. I'm over here like, get more self-care.
Oh, same.
And self-care can look however you want it to look, you know? But I think for me, my husband would tell you it kind of drives him crazy, but I have a non-negotiable with my self-care. I'm going to get my workouts in. I'm going to get my body work when I need it. I'm going to, go on my nature walks. I'm going to be with my girlfriends. It's crucial because it literally revamps our soul and helps us be better moms, be better a friend, a better partner, etc.
And that's awesome too. I feel like all three of us have the support to be able to be ourselves. Do you have any advice for women that are maybe going through a tough relationship or maybe they're adjusting to singlehood, to ensure that they're still prioritizing themselves and they're not giving that up? I just try to think of like every single person's situation, right? And some people, they just don't have that support. And so they really have to empower themselves, or they have to have boundaries and say, no, I'm doing this. Like, do you have any advice for the women out there?
Of course. I mean, I always have thoughts, right? But I think it's us trying to put ourselves in other people's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice may be, I don't know how people would take it, because I think like, yes, my partner is incredible. He is such an amazing dad, and he shows up for me and will hold space for me anytime I want to do anything. It's incredible. And absolutely, the majority of women do not have that. We could even look at the majority of married women who do not have partners that will do that. I mean, especially if they're in, a relationship with a man. I mean, I'm sorry, but there are a lot of crummy men out there that just think that parenthood is the mother's job, and I'm going to go work and I'm going to do me. We all have friends. We see this where the dads are the ones getting the self-care and always out with their friends, but they're not really doing much at home. And then there's the single moms. Oh my gosh. Can we give it up for them? Because
always,
guys, when I solo parent one child, and I know we all have that in common, I am just like, I mean, I do it, and my kid and we end up finding a groove, and it's beautiful, but I'm like, oh my goodness, how do these women do it with 2 and 3 and 4 children?
And day in and day out.
I'm like all praising them. But it's going to be different advice for different people. The people with the scumbag husbands, I mean, I don't know. I'm tempted to say, get a new husband. Seriously. I mean, I know it's not that easy, but I think that is a lot where our feminine power comes in, is stop. First of all, I think a huge message for women is to stop being people pleasers. Stop. You are only doing a disservice to yourself and worrying too much about everyone else. Individually, these are our lives to live. And if we can't take care of self first and put self first, everything else, you can be the biggest like charity, community giving person ever. But if you are dwindling away at yourself, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's stop people pleasing.
I love that.
And have a big heart to heart with your partner. You've got to create some boundaries.
You have to communicate.
Yeah.
People are always like, I've said this before, but people will be like, oh, James. I'm like, no, it's me. Okay. James follows my rules. Okay. Like James isn't making the yellow brick road. Celia is. Okay. Do not give James credit. Love James.
Good.
Everyone loves James, but no, it's me.
I have a husband like that too. Everyone loves Pete.
I know. It's so annoying. But I think it goes back to what you said when you became a mom. You got that instinct, right? It's almost like you would do anything for your child. Why are you not doing anything for yourself? Right? Like you would go to bat. Like we want, equality. We want to make sure the education systems are good. We will do anything to make sure our children have a fair and equal opportunity to succeed. But yet we don't do that for ourselves. Like we have to change the narrative.
But it circles back to who started this rumor. Is it societal? It's been circulating for decades. It's not new to our generation.
No, it is. I think it's absolutely societal, but I think it's deeper than societal. At this point, it's societal, right? Because we have tons of people believing these things. I like to blame white men. But that's just me. I do. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that white men don't serve a place, but there are some very old white men that have instilled some very old belief systems, and generationally, especially women, men too, of course, but women, we struggle to release those belief systems. And I get it. It's hard. They're indoctrinated in us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a big deal. And what you say is truly profound in the sense that we are willing to do anything for our children, but we don't make that same commitment to ourselves. And what would shift if women started making that commitment to themselves? I am a non-negotiable. My happiness, my joy, my fulfillment is a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Period.
If someone discriminated against your child, if someone harassed your child, if there was violence towards your child, you would lose your shit. I'd be in jail. Like I would be like Mama Bear comes out. And I think you have to kind of have that confidence in yourself. And it's interesting because depending on where you're at in the country, I think that plays a huge role too, to your point, because the cultures are just so different, you know, like Northeast compared to the South. Like it's just really interesting. Some of the social norms out there.
It's hard, you know, like women, we're kind of fit the mold to be the caretaker. And that's just kind of how we are. And even like growing up, you know, as a woman, you know, I'm a people pleaser. I'm trying to lose that. You know, you go ahead, or, you know, I don't need this, but it's fine. I can do without that. And I don't think, you know, until I had my child, then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Like this, you know, this needs to stop. This is BS. And so having a child woke that up in me. But I feel like as women, we're just used to doing that to ourselves.
Yep. And the people around us are used to it, right? It's because, again, it's the societal norm. You know, what you just said is so real. Like I often tell people I'm not a people pleaser. I'm on the other end of the spectrum. So I'm a people pisser offer. But because I just stand in my truth and I say what I say, and I don't care if you like me, it's this whole thing. I'm softening around that. But in that, one thing that I have noticed that I still do as a woman, I say I'm sorry for shit that I don't need to be saying I'm sorry for. Like, I mean, if someone walks in front of me and I get in their way,
I'm sorry. Why am I sorry? I'm at the grocery store, right? And I'm like, oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I hate that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's another piece, right? Like when women hear conversations like this, and they're like, that's great, but how do I stop being a people pleaser?
Just stop.
And I think small things, right? Like, yes, just stop. That's so me. I'd be like, well, just stop. But also, like, how many times do you apologize?
Yes.
Stop apologizing. Stop saying I'm sorry.
Yes.
Stop saying like, excuse me, when you don't need to say excuse me. Stop, you know,
or teach your kid.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, like I think, like I know you don't think. If you feel a certain way and you believe it, you are just that. Not, I think this is the answer. No, this is the answer. Like it's just taking those small steps to change how you even communicate, or at least just acknowledging that you're communicating in a way that may come off as you're not confident. I think that would help women in general get more acceptance and get more credibility, because we second guess ourselves way too much.
For sure.
I think it starts with the mindfulness, just realizing when you do it, you know, and then kind of slowly taking, you know, steps to not do it as much, but it's going to take time.
Yep, for sure. And I think just to round out that question, because I don't want to forget about the single moms, I think, you know, if I were a single mom and how I would get help when I needed to take care of myself, right? Whatever that is. I think the first thing that people think is, oh, well, just get a babysitter. Well, what if that single mom can't afford a regular babysitter? Like there are
especially
so many things.
Hour.
I think women need to stop feeling guilty about putting a show on for their kids and taking some time to themselves. Like that, like we live in a world where there's so much shame around letting your kids watch TV. I live a very holistic lifestyle in so many ways. It is so alternative to so many mainstream people. My kid watches TV and I think he's almost seen every Disney movie, and I have no shame about that. He's a kid. Our kids, yes, get your kids outside. My kid goes to a forest school, let him climb trees, but also just like, let him be a kid. Let him like dumb out and watch some movies. And for people who don't like Disney and they want to come at us about Disney, get away with your Disney propaganda that the adults may be able to see, but the kids are oblivious to it. So can you let them just be kids? Just let them be kids. And then I think, you know, what I hope to see over the next several years and moving forward is a sense of community, because I think not only single mothers, but if we had, like, I wonder how you guys grew up, but like, I feel like when I think about my young childhood, my mom would we would have like play dates with the neighbor, and my mom would like go get things done and the neighbor's mom would watch us all. Right. Or like, and that doesn't happen anymore. Like my girlfriends, even being in the South where things are very different. We just got here, so we're still getting used to it. Okay. But women aren't calling me to be like, hey, I have these things to do. I'm struggling to, you know, figure out how to get them done. Can I just bring the kids over for a play date? Like, I think it's to make that happen, I think we need to start doing it. I think we need to start calling our friends and saying, hey, my kid wants to have a play date and I have some errands to run. Can I run over? I'll pay you back next time you need to do, to do the same thing. Happy to have them over at our house. Because when we start asking, it puts that energy into the world and moms are like, oh my gosh, she asked me, I'm going to ask her now. And then it starts to get louder. And then the next thing you know, we're all supporting each other and being able to show up in our lives better.
Love that. I love that. Asking for help. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, ever.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I feel like we covered every topic. Cami, do you have anything else to ask her?
I wanted to ask about what's in the works for the future for Brooke.
Yeah.
I know you have the podcast coming.
So yes, what's in the, you guys, I don't know what's in the future, but things, I am feeling really called to lead, like super curated women retreats. So like high level women retreats. I don't know what that looks like yet. I've been just sitting with it, but stay tuned, TBD. And, this podcast thing has been knocking at my door for a long time. I clearly talk a lot. I have a lot of opinions and I really want to bring people together. I think there's a lot of division in our world right now. I know there's a lot of division in our world right now. And I want to bring people together, regardless of their belief systems. And, I think we just need to stop pinning each other against each other. And who cares what you love versus what I love? Let's find things that we love about each other. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that looks like. So yes, I think I will do a podcast. I don't know when, but with that said, I am doing a podcast with an OBGYN. I will not be leading it, so it doesn't really feel like my baby, but I will be the co-host on it. But that'll be more like definitely health, pre and postnatal mom type of stuff. And I kind of want my podcast to be bigger than that. Just like more broad,
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I would say that, social media, like you said, it's drowned out with so much content. I don't know if you know this, but fun facts on podcast. You are the top 1% globally of podcasts if you make it to episode 21, because everyone quits them. So if you just imagine the people that actually take the space, right? It takes a lot of time to like create the podcast, maintain it, edit it, etc. You can assume those that push through, right? That barrier, you're going to get a lot of really good information from a lot of really good people. And it's just really exciting. And podcasts, you have the open flat platform to be fluid and to move it however you want. I totally see you having like one of the best podcasts because your energy is infectious.
You're so sweet. I don't know.
So
I don't like
trusting.
the pressure,
I mean, but here's
so
the thing
natural.
here's the thing is like, you just get it or you don't, you either want to talk, you're like me, like I did the podcast because I'm like, no, I have a lot to say. I have a lot of things that I don't like. I'm also not a people pleaser. And when you said to delete people off social media, it took me back to like, I did do that just recently and I got a lot of hate for it. But I'm like, if I want to take you out on a Tuesday night, why do I got to enter you into my door of being online? Like, I feel like this is not a fair punishment for what I did, but it's true. Like, you got to just live your life and you got to, if you have it in you to just express yourself. Oh my gosh, I want to listen to your podcast if you come out with one for sure. I'll be your top fan.
We're
rating it 5 stars
all the way.
All the way.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. I'll take the cheerleading. But when I enter into these things, like if I have a vision, just like with the Blue Method, I don't really have expectations.
Right.
Because I think that often allows the most profound things to be created, because you don't do it from an expectation of finance or success.
Yeah.
You do it to truly make change. And that's what I want to do with the Blue Method. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think we cap it on that note because it's absolutely true. Like, you just have, if there is no cap, it's endless.
Yeah.
Right.
I
like
love that
you
for sure.
said it. Yeah. Well, you've really empowered us.
Absolutely.
And I think every single person here is going to step away from this conversation with a lot of things to think about, just on like, just holistically, like you said, how you live your life, like how we can all incorporate just more beauty into our life and just be gentle and easy on ourselves, because we can cure the world. I say cure the world because I really do think it's a disease right now, but we can heal the world.
And if you get nothing else from this episode, Marie Kondo your social media fill.
Yes. Totally. Yeah. It will only help you. I promise.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we will put the links to the Bloom Method and everything Brooke Kate related in the description. We thank you so much for taking the time. We're so excited to follow your future adventures. And hopefully maybe we can partner up in the future on anything. If you need a couple mom betches at, any of these retreats, we will come. We will start the party up.
For one.
Perfect. Yeah. I love mom bitches. So it works out,
Good.
Win-win. Thanks you guys so much.
Thank you.
Women need to empower women, and our voice matters. Bitch.